On Wednesday, on an interview on Catalan radio, Barcelona VP Eduard Romeu was asked about the viability of Messi's possible return, and he said it would be possible financially because if he returned, it would be as a free agent. But it's a decision which has to be made by the coaching staff and the player. It doesn't correspond to me to make those decisions, but it would be viable. Jules, why is he saying this?
Well, I think it's good that you still keep the door open to a potential Messi return. I think the fans would like that. Can you imagine 2 years after leaving in the circumstances that he left and all the tears and everything? To be coming back would be, I guess, pretty special. If you're Laporta, you say, look, we made the club better and now we were even able to bring him back home. I mean, no pressure on Xavi. When the phone call from Laporta, I say, okay, we can sign him. Do you want him or not? Because right now, in the structure of the team, in the 4-3-3 formation, in what we've seen from, I don't know, a Gavi and Pedri partnership in that midfield and the two wingers and Lewandowski, there's no room for Messi. So Messi being Messi and the GOAT, you can easily find it, but you need to change the way you play. You need to change your formation. He can't play wide anymore. He's too old now. It doesn't work. We saw that in Paris last season. So you need a central role behind a striker like he's playing right now for PSG. So is Xavi ready to change everything for Messi? Maybe. Would Messi want him back? I mean, it would be almost impossible for Xavi if he has the opportunity to bring him back to say no. I mean, one, because they're friends. Two, because it's Messi. So let's see. And Messi might not want to go back, by the way. He might want to, to go to MLS, to have another season in Paris. I don't know. There's a lot of things that can happen, that can influence his mind. But he might also want to come back. They still have the house, obviously, in Barcelona. They go back a lot. So it's not totally impossible either.
He's had quite the season so far for club and country.
Yeah, I mean, he's 35. I mean, he might want to go back. And I can understand, maybe from his point of view. But from a Barcelona point of view, I just think it's utter nonsense. Because if you're the club, Messi has been a phenomenon, an unbelievable phenomenon at that football club. Some of the things that he's done for Barcelona over that period will never be seen again, all right? The goals, the dribbles, the artistry. But that was then. This is now. This football club's a huge football club. It has to be forward-thinking. It has to be progressive. It has to look forward. They've made changes. They've made new signings. They've brought younger players through. It's not a time to go back to what was, because it wasn't what it was. It's a time to look forward and back Xavi or whoever it's going to be long-term with this progressive side going forward and building for the future. This just smells to me of just trying to make a few fans happy for a little bit of time.
What do you think, Mario? Yeah. No looking back?
No, I like what Greg says, look, we're not looking back, but I think they're looking at a bigger picture. I think if they will bring Messi back, it will only be based on saying what the future of the system that they're using of bringing him back is similar to what Ajax did. You understand? They bring some of their key players back. Like we had a coach that was at Barcelona, Frank Rijkaard. He came back, was the ensemble. Everybody could ask him a question. I remember I was 60 years old sitting and asking him a question. If Messi comes back, one of the best players arguably in the world, if he comes back, the only reason for him to come back is because they have so much future planning for him to implement something that is key for that club. Not only because if you do it like what Greg said, I agree with this. If it's for the fans, you got to be careful, guys, because now you could break something what they're building now. But if you're looking at bringing Messi back because you feel he needs to be part of the DNA of Barcelona, what he clearly already is, but I'm just saying like what the club wants to do in the future and uses his image, his face, his history and everything, you couldn't find a better one. But if they're not going to do that and just to play him, that becomes a tricky situation because now you're going to maybe create some turbulence that you're not looking forward to because you got some young new stars coming now.
If they think, I agree, if they think he has coaching, maybe even management potential, and I don't know.
Or behind-the-scenes role like Zidane at first.
Yeah, if they think there's some sort of structural aspect to this, then I can see that as common sense. Maybe they see him as a future manager. Just because you've been one of the greatest of all times doesn't mean you're going to be a manager. I saw it firsthand with Ruud Gullit, World Footballer of the Year twice. Can't really manage players, couldn't manage players. There's no guarantee. But if that's the side of it that maybe long-term they're looking at, that's fine. But if we're talking about from a playing perspective, I don't think it makes much sense. But yeah, maybe Messi is going to be a manager. It doesn't seem to me, looking from the outside, the type of person that would be sitting on the bench. But I might be wrong.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.